Here with reaction, House Judiciary Committee Chairman, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. Sir. Congressman, great to see you.
Good to be with you, Sean.
I have that breaking news. Any reaction on your end to that?
I don't even remember what she's talking about. I'm in so many hearings. I try to question the witness in an appropriate fashion, so I don't know what she's talking about. I do think we are gathering support, though, across the conference from conservatives to more moderate members of our conference, and I feel that's important because I really think, Sean, this election for Speaker is about two issues. Who can bring our team together, who can unite our conference, and who can go tell the American people what we're doing and why it's important to them. And I think I can do that. That's why I'm running. I've been on the phone all day long with colleagues from around the country, and I tell them, the job I have, I like. I like that job. But someone's got to be able to come forward, unite the Republicans around our message, around what we're doing for the American people, and go take that message to the country and deliver it in a compelling, succinct way, which I think I can do.
I think the one thing that there is definitely consensus on, and I talked to this great audience before the show, is number one, they want to make sure that the investigations that you have started and Jason Smith and James Comer continue. I'm sure they will. Am I correct in my assumption?
Yeah, they have to. I mean, it's important. The way these agencies have been turned on we the people, on the American people, we have to continue that work. I mean, I was in a deposition 2 days ago when all this was happening on the House floor relative to our Speaker. I was in a deposition with the U.S. Attorney from the District of Columbia, Matthew Graves, who wouldn't partner with David Weiss in the Hunter Biden investigation. And when they were talking about bringing the bereavement charge. So we were doing our work. That all continues. But we got to come together as a conference, come together as Republicans so that work can continue, so we can deal with the border, so we can deal with the issues we told the American people we were going to address.
So one other thing that I'm hearing very loudly from people is they want to see the Republicans. They don't want to get stuck here. They don't want 15 more votes. They want this settled,
Yep.
and they want you guys back to work. Are you confident that that's going to happen by this time next week? Are you confident that we're going to have a new Speaker and it's going to be you?
It has to happen. We shouldn't go to the House floor until we have 218 votes for the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. We shouldn't have to go through what we did back in January. I'm all for that. I think I can bring our team together to accomplish that. And more importantly, once we get that done, to do the work that needs to be done on the border, on crime, on inflation, on all these issues we have to address. I think I can do that. That's why I decided to run.
So let's go through the top agenda items. I would say off the top of my head, this border really does have to get secure. Secondly, we had $2 trillion of Biden debt last year. You know what? That is unacceptable. We're now at $33.5 trillion in debt that we're putting on our kids and grandkids. That's got to stop. Will we get back to regular order? Will we go through the appropriations process? Will we secure the border? Will we bring law and order to American cities? And will there be all these other votes that members have been talking about, term limits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
We brought up term limits in the committee last week and had a vote on that legislation in the committee last week. Yeah, we need to do all that, Sean. But in 40 days, the stopgap spending measure runs out. We have to have a plan as a conference. Again, when we elect our new Speaker, we have to have a plan that 218 of us support on how we're going to deal with that. How are we going to deal with when we get to November? We can't have the same thing unfold that unfolded last week. So I think that we have to look at another stopgap measure that would kick in the 1% cut. There's legislation in place right now that says if we have a CR, a continuing resolution that goes into next year, there's an automatic 1% cut that takes place. There's nothing like a cut to spending that focuses politicians' attention. So we need that threat hanging there to be leveraged for us to get the policies you just talked about. The policies where we can win on the border issue, on the crime issue, on inflation. But that's the only way this town can operate is when there's that kind of leverage and there's that kind of deadline hanging there where real cuts are going to happen, that we can actually get people to focus and get our work done. So that's what I think we have to do in order to deal with what's coming in 40 short days.
If you're elected Speaker, you will have 15 months to prove to the Republican caucus and conference how good a job you do. And then in January 2025, you will hopefully be up for re-election. If you win to be Speaker again, that would be your vote of confidence. Where do you stand on this one-member motion to vacate, triggered by any one member, which means anytime it's triggered, all other business in the House stops? Should that threshold be raised?
Yeah, our conference, it's been loud and clear, the feedback I get from our conference. Our conference wants to change that. I'm for changing that, but we got to have 218 Republicans to do it, because that is actually a House rule, and you got to be able to go to the floor of the House and change that. I'm for doing that if we have 218. I don't want to go to the Democrats and make that change, because they're going to want all kinds of things. So let's work as a unit and deal with the problems we see in this country as a unit, so we can stop where the left wants to take us.
Every Republican, here's my message to all of you guys. You're either going to win as a team, you're going to win together, or you're going to lose. So you better unite. You have a small majority. You have a lot of power that has been entrusted to you. Now make it work and just keep your promises. It's that simple. Congressman, great to see you. And maybe this time next week I'll be addressing you as Mr. Speaker. I don't know. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.